She was just 21 years old. March 29, 2006, Jessie Foster vanished without a trace. The young and vibrant woman was lured, like so many others, by the bright lights of Las Vegas.
Jessie's brave, I'll tell you. What she probably has endured in order to not want someone she loves to become a victim also, I can't even begin to imagine.
For the past 8 years, Glendene Grant has spent every waking moment searching for her daughter, who she says was forced into the sex trade. She has become an advocate for missing and exploited women and is now taking her message to Ottawa.
The education part has to keep going. The education, the more people that know about it, the more people that learn about this through my speaking, through Joy speaking, through the laws changing, then the more ammunition possible victims have if they're ever going to be lured, recruited, or taken.
Glendene has been invited to speak before the House of Commons Standing Committee on Justice and Human Rights, appearing before the panel July 9th to address proposed changes to Canada's prostitution laws.
We don't want to have brothels in Kamloops or anywhere in Canada. We don't want to have pimps and traffickers claiming that this is their legal profession. I can't imagine something so horrific.
Last month, the federal government tabled legislation that would criminalize the purchase of sexual services. It comes in response to a December Supreme Court of Canada ruling striking down key sections of the nation's prostitution laws. The new bill would also focus more punishment on johns and pimps than on sex trade workers themselves.
The demand is there because the johns and the victims are trafficked because of the pimps and the traffickers. We have everything now working for us in this. People who want to do it can still do it. People who don't want to do it have a lot more help. It passed through a second reading, and I'm like, okay.
Glendene says the changes represent Canada taking the lead in anti-human trafficking laws. She believes if successful, it will cut down on the demand for sex trade and in turn see fewer women forced into the industry. Jessie Foster is Canada's most well-known missing human trafficking victim. Glendene is honored to speak in Ottawa because the issue is both a passion and a personal fight. She wants to stand up strong for her daughter and others to get the laws changed and ensure no other family suffers.
She's still missing, and we're still going to fight for her. Whether it's helping change laws, raising awareness, or talking to other families, I don't really mind what way. We're just going to not stop. Excuse me?
Fresh off the plane from Ottawa, Glendene Grant says she was pleased to lend her support to Canada's proposed prostitution law changes.
And we now know it does, so we need to make a change.
Grant presented to the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Justice and Human Rights this week. She told her daughter Jessie's story. The girl disappeared in 2006, thought to be a victim of human trafficking.
When I talk about Jessie,
Grant believes the new prostitution bill will eventually stop the sale of humans.
I love that they're going after johns and pimps in this. The people who want to cause this damage, if there's no demand, there's no supply. If there's no supply needed, then there's not going to be the pimps and the traffickers forcing women into it.
The proposed bill was tabled last month. One of the main changes means it will be illegal to purchase sex. Bob Hughes of Ask Wellness applauds some of the bill's features, but says more needs to be done.
I think where the challenge for me with this legislation is it doesn't distinguish between those that are out on the streets, so the survival sex trade workers, and indoor sex trade workers.
Hughes says the only way the law will actually protect women is by distinguishing between the two groups.
And I think what this law tried to do, I don't think it managed to do it, and that is to reduce exploitation and regulate safety mechanisms. And I don't think it encompassed that.
One thing they both agree on, it's positive that $20 million has been allocated to help people who want to leave the industry.
We don't have money to begin with. I do all these things where I travel around and I give talks, but I'm literally doing dollar drives to get me there because I don't have funding, and a lot of the other, even nonprofits, have to fundraise just to have their programs. So we don't care if it's 20 million split up over 5 years between the entire country.
20 million is a drop in the bucket. Really it is, but at least it's a start in saying let's make this be effective and get it into the communities.
The government has until December to change the law so it's in line with the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Grant is hopeful it will pass, which will mean progress has been made in her life's work.
The Protection of Communities and Exploited Persons Act becomes a law. I myself I'm going to refer to it as Jessie's Law.